Hello, and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor, and today we'll finally begin our journeys through Eastern Gondor, and we'll do that first by talking to Aragorn at the camp of the Great Host. But let us do the epic first.
The threat of the Corsairs is over, but many of their allies remain.
The threat of the Corsairs is over, but many of their allies still live and could endanger my next course, Beriathan. Several of the Haradrim fled from the city when the men of the mountain fulfilled their oath, and I feared they might bring word of the Corsair defeat to the armies of Mordor. I would rather this did not happen, but I cannot spare the time to track all who fled from Pelargir. Will you do this for me, my friend? Travel east in pursuit of this terrified Haradrim. I believe they will come to the walls of Erenos before they can break free of their fright. Defeat them and keep word of our victory at Pelargir from reaching unfriendly ears. I think we'll most likely need to come back to Aragorn after we complete that quest. Oh, well, to turn that quest in, I should say. And I think at that time, we'll complete the other one as well. As soon as I see that we are moving away from this camp, I will turn in the quest for Eastern Gondor. It's what I've been doing so far every time we get this kind of vector quests, and it's how it makes the most sense to me, so that's why. So the road through Erenos, which is fairly short and eventful as well. Retreating tracks. Okay, this is what we were looking for. As you study the tracks, you feel eyes upon you. Someone hides nearby. This one. And maybe we can use this one again. Is this the same one? I think it is. You hear a woman's voice hailing you from the town of Erenos to the north. Let us talk to her then and see what she needs. Or what she wants. There we go.
I saw another invader nearby. He crept that way around the wall.
I watched you fight those evil warriors, hero, and I wanted to thank you for making safe our lands. But that is not all. For if you live now, you live as still in peril. I saw another one of these invaders nearby. I think he fancies himself a sorcerer of some sort, for he carried many unsavory trinkets and muttered strange incantations under his breath. He crept that way around the other wall of Erenos. So let us try and find him. Who are we looking for? Ah, this one.
The great master we follow gives life unending to those who faithfully serve.
You may slay my man-hated man, and you may end my own life, but you will have no lasting victory. The great master we follow is a giver of gifts, and he gives life unending to those who faithfully serve. You could slay all the Corsairs to a man, and all of my own people, but the commanders of the master's army will always return, even in death. Yeah, I will say Sauron has done a great job with you. His mocking smile remains, yeah. Yeah, they did quite the job with this sorcerer. And well, can you blame him? Up until this point, the masters, the commanders of the enemy, the Nazgul, they might have been banished a few times, but yeah, they always come back, so you get why he believes Sauron will give you an ending life, but that's not entirely true. And even if he did, even what he does, can that be considered a life? What happened to the Nazgul, what Bilbo himself said, like too much butter spread over too little butter spread over too much bread. Is that the kind of life you wanna live? I don't think so. But Sauron has done a great job at fooling you. That we cannot deny.
What troubles you? Share it with me, and we will bear its burden together.
You found the Haradrim that fled from Pelargir. Very good, Beriathan. I hope this will keep word of our victory here a secret from the enemy. But something troubles you. Share it with me, and we will bear the burden of it together, my friend. You tell Aragorn of the sorcerer's words, that the commanders of Sauron's armies cannot be stopped, even by death. I confess to you that I have heard these whispers as well, my friend, so I cannot banish the fear of them from your mind. But it does not change my resolve, and I believe it will not change yours either. We place a greater value on life than does our enemy, so every loss pains us all the more. But that is our strength as well, for we will fight even harder to protect it, even beyond our limits. Aragorn smiles. Ours is not the real quest, Beriathan, for even if we have all the success we desire, the enemy will remain. The real quest is elsewhere, my friend, and only its successful completion can end Sauron's evil forever.
There is much to be done, and little time in which to do it.
We still have our own parts to play, and I deem it important that we play them well. I wish to sail up the river on the deck of the Corsair ships, and come by that route to the aid of Minas Tirith. It is my hope that we will arrive in time and with such surprise that we can strike a blow to the fighting will of those who threaten the city. We do not have much time to prepare, but there are a number of tasks I have given my friends to perform that will help us set forth as quickly as possible. Help them with these tasks, if you would, for every moment we hesitate is a moment the enemy would relish. Ah, okay, so that's why we only have 4 named rangers in this camp. I was wondering that. And I also wonder, why is Darvun not wearing the Grey Company attire? What happened to you exactly, Darvun? You forgot it? You lost it? You quit? I mean, none of those seem likely, and it has always bugged me. Why are you not wearing the same garbs as your fellows?
I want to know the hazards of the Anduin before we put upon the water.
Aragorn hopes to sail up the Anduin on the decks of the Corsair ships, but we are not watermen, and if we are to do this, we will need every advantage. To that end, I sent Amlan into the city to look for maps of the river that might aid us in this endeavor. If you are willing, return to the city and help Amlan find any such maps that might prove helpful. Pelargir is the great port city of Gondor, and there must have been much use of the river for trade and passage. Surely some maps can be found that chart the hazards and bends of the Anduin? I believe Amlan was going to begin his search in the market ward.
I am still weak from my stay within Saruman's dungeons, exhausted and frustrated.
I do not know what I'm doing, Beriathan. I could do little more than stay atop the horse Dagoras provided for me on the ride from Rohan. I am still weak from my stay within Saruman's dungeons, and even lifting a sword leaves me fatigued. I am exhausted and frustrated. I volunteered to help load the ships with supplies, expecting to struggle through and beyond the unfair limitations of my strength, but Radanir took my place and sent me back here. My face was red with shame, but I must admit he was right. I need to rest and recover my strength. Curse that traitor wizard. find Gandalf and help him carry my share of the supplies onto the Corsair flagship. You will find him in the West Guard, by one of the bridges that leads to the court of the Ship King.
There is much hardship ahead of us.
I like this land, Beriathan. It reminds me of the Twilight Wilds far away in the north, where my heart remains. The wooded slopes encircling Lake Lenuiel must be slowly shaking off the grip of winter, and in a few weeks the leaves of their trees may begin to fight through the remaining chill. No winter lasts forever, and the coming of spring will banish even the coldest of memories. Will this war be any different? Callingland stands silently for a short while, musing on the question. Eventually he smiles and gives you a conspirational wink. Rather, you told me you agreed to treat him to a meal and drinks at a tavern of your choosing once this is all over. If you have no objection, I would like to join the two of you there. I will look forward to that happy meeting. But there is still much hardship ahead of us, and with all my musings I forgot to tell you something. Halbrand wanted me to send you to him. He has returned to Pelargir already. If you leave now, you should find him just inside the northwest entrance to the city.
Did you fight in the battle?
Did you fight in the battle, Beriathan? I was stricken with a great fear as the shades of the dead joined the battle, and I confess to you that I felt a great urge to run from them, as the Corsairs did. And yet, before my heart betrayed me and I succumbed to the terror, I felt a hand upon my arm and I was reassured. Do you know who it was? It was Caladan, the young ranger I took under my wing in Edluin. He is not as young as he was, and this journey has put some steel in him. It was an honor to stand with Aragorn, and the presence of Caladan was a comfort. I am proud to call him brother. When the Corsairs fled, many of them cast their weapons to the ground. Mandan went ahead to gather up the fallen blades. Find him at the northwest entrance to Pelargir and help him with this task, for there are many weapons to be recovered. Alright, so we could have technically done some of these quests, all of these quests actually, on the previous episodes in which we were doing the Pelargir storyline, but I wanted to differentiate them both, because those Pelargir quests that we did that were part of update 15 Gondor Aflame for Central Gondor, and this is update 16 Ashes of Osgiliath, Eastern Gondor. So even though they take place in the same space, I still wanna differentiate both on my mind and on the series as well. So that's why. Nonetheless, here we have Mandan, Halvarad. So we can start by talking to them.
The Corsairs cast aside their weapons when they fled.
Oh, Langlas sent you to check on me. That was quite unnecessary, Beriathan. Mandan scowls. Well, perhaps it was a little necessary. You see, I began to gather some of the weapons the Corsairs cast aside when they fled, but it was low work and I decided my own skills might be better used elsewhere. You know of my talent for fashioning and applying salves, of course. There are many wounded folk who could use such treatment, and I will see to them immediately. Anyway, Caladan was gathering up the weapons already. You are welcome to go down to the docks and help him with his task, if you like.
The appearance of the dead men may weigh heavily upon some members of the company.
I would follow Aragorn anywhere, Beriathan, and standing here with the smell of smoke on the air and the memory of battle still fresh in my mind, I feel as if I have done so. I did not blanch when he led us through the Dimfold Road, nor when we emerged from the mountain with the shades of the dead men all around us. Still, I am glad they have departed. It is not natural for such men to linger in the world. An elf once told me that death is a gift for all men, but I did not understand what he meant until today. I think now he was right. The appearance of the dead men may weigh heavily upon some others of our company. Golodir in particular seemed distraught by the passage under the mountain. Find Coronir somewhere to the south of here, and see if he knows where Golodir can be found. The two of them are rarely apart. Yeah, before I do that, I'm not sure if this epic quest will give us the chance of doing so. It seems so far we are on the same track to also complete the exploration of Pelargir. We still have 2 locations left to discover, and I'm not sure if the epic will take us to both. I know we'll get to visit one of them as we leave a Pelargir, or we will be really close to it at least. But this one over here, on the northwest side of the city, I'm not so sure. So I'm trying to find it. I was quite certain it was over here. Maybe I'm missing something. Or maybe it's on the lower level. So it seems we need to keep looking. But yeah, I wanna discover that before we leave. An easy deed to finish, some extra virtue XP, so yeah, why not? Who do we have here? Radanir.
Looks like Techeron owes me some coins.
We had a friendly wager concerning what would happen first. Lothrander returning to try and carry these crates, or you showing up to carry them instead. I never doubted you for a moment, and now you've won me some coins. I thank you for being so honorable and predictable. Radanir laughed. These need to go to the Corsair flagship, for that's the one that has the most room. Teheran is waiting for the supplies on the flagship more at the large southern dock of the market ward. You can't miss it, it's the big one. Alright, so you are gambling on my behalf. Okay, well, being hasty. I love this kind of buffs. Can I keep it? Did you see the dead man during the battle? That was a sight to behold. Yeah, I did, but I cannot help you with those weapons just yet, as I still need first. Oh, but it seems I am on the right place. Am I not? Halros! And Teheran, yeah, there he is. Teheran reluctantly thanks you for the supplies, though it lost him a wager. And we need to keep picking more supplies, it seems. But let us take the chance to also recover this weapons. Angbor, I don't remember you. Have we met? Were we supposed to meet, and that's some content I haven't done? No, the name doesn't ring a bell. I'm really sorry. Langlass and Kailarand, those are the rangers that you can find on Edit Luin if you do the epic introduction for the elves or the dwarves. But since we didn't, well, we technically haven't met them yet, but at least I recognize them.
If I'd never see another crate, it will be far too soon for me.
I have been fruitlessly searching for maps ever since the battle ended, Beriathan. If I never see another crate, it will be far too soon for me. I have searched all the crates in this area. The only place I have not yet searched is to the northeast, at the very tip of the market ward. I do not think any of those crates will have river maps in them, but just to be safe, we should search them anyway. And I got a feeling I'm gonna be the lucky one in here. Of course, every time you're looking for anything, you're always gonna find it on the last place you look for. You find some folded parchments in the crate, maps of the Anduin's course. Okay. So what's Amlan gonna say? Is he gonna like this, or is he gonna be even more frustrated about it?
I can ascertain little from these maps, but Hawthorne will fare better.
You found some maps of the Anduin. I cannot believe it! It is always the last place you check or the first place you never checked, is it not? Amlan takes the map from you and peers at it for a moment. Well, I see Pelargir here and Osgiliath up here, which means that these 4 black lines here must be the Anduin. But what do these marks in the river's course mean? I cannot ascertain anything useful from these maps, Beriathan. I think you should bring them to Orthon, for he is a master of lore and should be skilled at reading maps. I think you will find him to the southeast, somewhere in the court of the Ship Kings. Which we can technically go to, but come on, I want to discover some of these locations. I mean, this one that I'm missing around here, I don't know exactly where, but it's over here, somewhere around here. I want to check that off my list before I move on. Ah, it's this one. You see, to the northwest, the lower level from where we looked initially. King Telumetar. So I would assume the monument, the destroyed monument of Castamere that we found in one of the previous episodes was supposed to look like this. Very similar to it, but of course it's been destroyed. And with very good reason as well, not complaining about it. But I do wonder, did that monument of Castamere had anything else to differentiate it from the other ones? Because knowing Castamere and his ego and that of his followers, most likely there was some sort of extra thing on that monument. Faltharan thanks you for the supplies.
It pains me to see Lothrandir so weak, so tired.
Hold a moment, Beriathan. Did you know that Radanir and I had a bit of a friendly wager? It was just to amuse us during a bit of tedium, and I do not want you to take it too greatly to heart. You see, I wagered that Lothrandir would return to the city and finish the tasks of loading the ships, instead of you. But I did not mean to disparage your strength or ability. All know of your great deeds and the help you have provided to us on this journey. No, I based my wager on how hardy Lothrandir always appears. He chose to live in distant Forohel after all. Such inhospitable places breed stalwart men, and Lothrandir was strong to start. He is the toughest ranger I have ever met, and, well, perhaps that is the reason for my wager, Beriathan. I simply could not believe that Lothrandir's strength could be taken from him, but Saruman has turned him into a shell of his former self. Such treatment in the dungeons of the wizard would kill a lesser man, I have no doubt, but it pains me to see Lothrandir so weak, so tired. I think I wagered against you with the hope that it was not so. I am sorry for taking up so much of your time, my friend. I wanted you to know. Yeah, no offense taken. I can't say I liked the idea of that wager, but of course it also pains me seeing Lothrandir so weakened. So we share that feeling. So now, Faramir. How do I get up there? Okay. Faramir. Supposed to be over here, which once again was the place where the battle ended. Yeah, here we were fighting the catapult.
I am not in the mood to talk.
I am not in the mood to talk, Beriathan. This has been a trying experience for all of us. I hope you do not mind. As you turn to go, Corony holds up his hand. I am sorry, friend. I am fine. With what can I help you? You tell him that you are looking for Galadhir and thought he might know where you could find a ranger. Galadhir is the cause of my ill temperament, and I have no desire to speak with him any further. Do you remember the fell mood that seized him in Angmar before the Grey Company was assembled? I thought he had left it behind him. Indeed, it seemed that the journey was doing him some good, but it returned again in Tur Morba, only to be overcome by the gentle laughter of the Dunlending girl, Wenda. But like the rising and falling brimstone pools of Mallenhat, his ill mood has returned after a short time at Loeb, and now he shouts at his own dear friends. If you seek him out, know that I left him standing on a dock to the south, looking out at the water. I will not be held responsible if he treats you unkindly, for it seems he does not know his friends. So we'll need to go back, down of course, to the docks. So let us talk to Galadhir really quick. It's on the way technically to the court of the Ship Kings. We also need to go there, so no biggie. But it's actually through here, it seems. I don't know. I don't think I have spent enough time on Pelargir to be able to know my way around the city as I do Minas Tirith, for example. But that also makes a lot of sense, considering I am a Citadel guard and not a man of Pelargir.
Yes, what do you want?
Are you here to chastise me for treating Corsair unkindly? He has been a sharp thorn for these past few days, constantly asking questions about my well-being. You should have expected a rebuke. There is an angry fire in Galadhir's eyes, an unfamiliar, smoldering rage. I know why, Beriathan. Around matters of the dead, they treat me with delicate gloves. They look at me and they see my daughter, Lorniel. My grief was strong and will never truly pass, but this treatment fills me with such an anger I could strike them all down. Corsair, Halbarad, even my own chief, Aragorn. He falls silent. When he speaks again, his voice is little more than a whisper, and there are tears in his eyes. I do not know from where this anger comes, Beriathan. It feels as if I hear voices of the past unflagging and relenting, calling my name, taunting me. I will master these voices. I have been troubled by these feelings ever since we began this journey, and I have managed to stifle them. It has become more difficult of late, perhaps because of the unnatural skies, the evil presence of the dead men. Do not worry about me, my friend. I will apologize to Corsair and my outburst will remain between us, I hope. Yeah, between us, absolutely. Do you need to get some anger management sessions? Absolutely, too. Neither I nor your companions recognize you, Galadhir, so do something about it before it is too late. Alright, the court of the Ship Kings, perfect. Here we will find a Orthon. A little bit to the north, but that's okay. Phaedon, okay, you two were not here last time I went here.
What a fine gift! I did not think you knew of my interest in cartography.
Yes? With what can I help you, my friend? What do you have there? You hand Orthon the maps of the Anduin, and with each one his smile grows. What a fine gift, Beriathan. I did not think you knew of my interest in cartography. It is a vanishing talent these days, I am afraid. But I have done my best to craft maps of the lands through which we have traveled. This will be a great help in improving the accuracy of my own efforts in this field. Not that they are in great need of such improvement, but I believe there is always room for honing one's skills. Oh, this gift has a more practical purpose? I will of course study these maps of the river closely and give my findings to Aragorn, so we may travel to the Anduin as safely and quickly as we can. If Phaedon beckons you to speak with him, okay?
I overheard your conversation with Orthon, and have a suggestion of my own.
I hope you will bring it to Darwin, for I know he has the ear of Aragorn. I urge that he not fly the standard of the king when we sail up the Anduin. I have trained many light-fingered folk in the art of burglary, and I know the value of surprise. Sometimes it can make all the difference. If we keep secret the fact of our departure and the manner of our travel, any foe we face may be put off its guard upon our arrival. My heart tells me there is value in this. Please, tell Darabon my message, Beriathan. Yeah, of course. Sounds like a great piece of advice. I'm sure that suggestion will be well received. Now, here in Orthon, what he said about all the maps and the status and their routes he traced through all the areas we traveled with the Grey Company. I mean, that's the perfect opportunity to create some housing items. The path of the Grey Company through Dunland, through Enedwise, through Gondor, things like that. I mean, if Big of Offing has that, why can't we have the same for the Grey Company? I mean, I would love to have some of those maps if they were available.
I see you had more success with the weapon gathering than I did.
But I too have done some good. These folk were fortunate I was here to see to their wounds. I know the plan is for us to leave the city and it is important for us to do so, but we should try to help as many of the people here as we can. I will put these weapons into a barrel and ask Hilarand where he wants it brought. But you should return to Langlass and tell him that I will be on short rations for the rest of our journey. I wish to give a portion of my provisions to some of the families the attack from Umbar hit hardest. Well, yeah, I mean, we might be running low on some provisions, but it would have been worse if you didn't do that. These people deserve all the help we can get them. So yeah, gonna talk to Langlass on your behalf. Here we are. Darabon, so yeah, the Vanner thing.
For finding the maps and helping with all these matters.
You found some maps of the Anduin? Perfect! You tell Darabon that Orthon was delighted for the chance to practice his hobby of map reading, and also relay Fyron's concerns about flying the standard of the king from atop the lead Corsair ship. I share Fyron's concerns and spoke with Aragorn about this very matter while you were in the city. It has been his plan all along to keep secret the standard that Halbert holds for him. I think he has not yet decided when to fly the standard, for it will be a message to both the enemy and our allies that cannot be easily taken back, can it? Thank you for finding the maps, my friend, and for helping with all these matters. We will have many ships ready to sail sooner and safer than I expected.
Thank you. Asking for help does not come naturally to me.
Thank you for doing my part, Beriathan. Asking for help does not come naturally for me, and I beg you forgive me for it. I hope to regain my strength before long. This weakness and fatigue pains me more than any of the injuries I sustained in Saruman's care. Don't be too harsh on yourself, Lothrandir.
If we stay true to each other, we have nothing to fear.
Did you find Halvarad? Were you able to help him with whatever it was he needed? You ask Halenglad how he feels about the mood of the Grey Company. I think we're doing fine, for the most part. We have been through a great deal already and there is more hardship ahead. But if we stay true to each other, there is nothing we need fear. We have lost friends along the way and brothers, but our memories of them give us the strength to go on. If I close my eyes, I can still hear their voices, and they urge me to stand with Aragorn and honor my pledge. And one day, you will buy Radanir and Darabon and me a meal and drinks, and we will all toast the successful journey of the Grey Company. Oh yes, I told Darabon about our agreement once this is all done. I did not think you would mind. Yeah, but at this rate I will need to buy drinks for the entire Grey Company, and I don't think I can do that on the kind of wager I get at Minas Tirith.
I hope the task was not too onerous for you.
How did you find the task, Beriathan? I hope it was not too onerous for you. You tell Legolas what Mandan asked you to say to him and his eyes. I sent Mandan with Cailaran in hopes that my young friend would be able to keep Mandan in line, but it seems he is still trying to peddle those salts and poultices of his. During our stay in Enedwaith, most of us looked forward to his excursions in the Coombe, seeking herbs, because it meant a respite from his sales speak. He would inevitably return with more flowers and roots to add to his concoctions, but aside from worsening the smell, I dare say they did not otherwise affect their properties. Thank you for completing his task for him, my friend.
I will soon depart on the ships, but I have another purpose for you.
I asked that you help prepare the ships with haste, but I did not expect such speed even from you, Beriathan. I thank you for your efforts and know that we are put in the best position we could be as a result. I have given some thought to this next request, my friend, and I hope you agree with me on this. I do not ask you to accompany me on the ships. Instead, I ask you to travel by land through Upper Lebennin and Lossarnach. We must learn the state of the war to the east. The Vale of Tumladen and the town of Imblot Meluit had strong walls of old, and were used as place of safety for the people in times of war. The people there will tell you much of what has transpired elsewhere in Gondor. Angbor will go that way as well, with his men, and will be a boon companion as you go. I have another purpose for you, my trusted friend. I want you to find Gandalf or true-hearted Faramir in Minas Tirith, and tell them about our victory here. Tell no others. In Faramir I place the trust I would not give to the Father. There is too much I do not know about the situation in the White City. Aragorn smiles farewell. Well, farewell, but I hope to see each other.
I have heard a great deal about you, and I welcome you as a companion.
I hope we'll see each other again, Aragorn. I have heard a great deal about you, Beriathan, and I welcome you as a traveling companion into the lands to the east. If you are half as brave and skilled as Aragorn tells me, we shall have no trouble at all.
I have 4,000 men with me. They will travel behind us.
Before he departed for Minas Tirith, Prince Imrahil charged me with the defense of the fiefs he left behind. I accepted this duty, knowing it might end in death, and left my son to protect my own lands. I engaged the Corsairs and Southrons at the city of Lingir, but we were heavily outnumbered and our defeat seemed certain. And then, a new force joined the fray, a vast army of shadows from the forbidden paths under the mountains. They were dead men, and they brought death with them, silent and sure. My men cast aside their weapons and fled, but I stood my ground, and when I saw the banner of he who led them, I was glad, for it was Aragorn, and he rode neath the standard of the king. Fearless, he called me, but what man can be afraid when a king has returned to a kingdom that needs him? I have 4,000 men with me, and they will travel behind us. It will be slow going for them, so we will ride ahead and see what awaits them. Let us fight the Southrons in Upper Lebennin and clear the way for their swords. Then we will come to the Vale of Tumladen and see the state of the war. Okay, so now that we are finally leaving for Eastern Gondor, we can complete this quest for Aragorn too. We can delay no longer, my friend. My men and I must make our way to the east, to the aid of Minas Tirith. Aragorn's voice suddenly grows quiet. Many of our number shall sail upon the ships that survived the battle for Pelargir, but none are to know of this, Beriathan. You must swear to me that you shall tell none of our passing upriver. Lord Angbor shall travel overland, and I would ask that you join his host as he passes through Upper Lebennin and Lossarnach. Meet him and his men in Pelargir near the easternmost case. I shall need every able warrior I can muster for the coming battle. May their journey be swift. Alright, yeah, we're ready to go to Eastern Gondor now. So as you have seen, we are keeping the secrecy of Aragorn's journey. We are allowed to tell Gandalf and Faramir, but we cannot tell anyone else, and Aragorn doesn't seem to trust Denethor. And as a member of the Citadel Guard, I can imagine Beriathan feeling very confronted about this. I mean, he's been serving under Denethor for most of his life, basically. So now, keeping secrets from him might not feel like the best idea for him, but you gotta keep a couple things in mind. One, he's allowed to tell Faramir, and like many other soldiers in Minas Tirith, I imagine Beriathan also loved Boromir, and he also loves Faramir. So at least he can talk to him. On the other hand, after seeing what we have seen at this battle in Pelargir, and how Aragorn commanded the death, and how he's wearing the livery of Elendil and ready to claim his throne, I think at this point in time, Beriathan is ready to swear allegiance to his king instead of the steward. So that's why I think not telling Denethor, why I think he will agree with that. He of course will have all the chances in the world to tell Denethor upon arriving at Minas Tirith, but we're not gonna. And that's because Aragorn has earned our love and our respect even more so than Denethor. Which of course is a common thing to happen. I mean, the same thing happened when Aragorn came to Gondor under the name of Thorongil. It seemed that people loved him more than Denethor. So things like that already happened. And on the other hand, Denethor doesn't need anyone telling him about Aragorn. I think he already can see that, knows that. But of course Beriathan doesn't know about it. So here we have this stable master for East Pelargir, which will be very useful. And the last monument we need to discover is somewhere around here. Ah, this one! King Minardil's memorial. Oh, I see it now. Oh, it's really huge. I was not expecting this. But there we go. We have completed a Legacy of Pelargir. We have a new title, Zeal at level 44. 5 LOTRO points. Explored Pelargir in great detail, yeah. Perfect, we're ready to continue, you see? We were bound to find this, so you just need to make sure to find King Telumetar. All the others you can find by doing your quests around Pelargir.
This darkness is a weight on my mind.
I am glad you have come, Beriathan. One of your skill would be a great boon to our cause. A boon we may well come to depend upon. We have thrown up the gate to the east and make ready to move through Upper Lebennin. Will you join us, my friend? Absolutely. Let us go.
There's naught but ill omens these days.
We can tarry no longer, my friend. Aragorn has bid us travel to Minas Tirith across the plains of Upper Lebennin and Lossarnach, and I shall not abandon him in this crucial hour. However, my men have grown weary and many have not found rest since our defeat of the Corsairs. I know well the pain they feel, but they must press on through it, as have all of Gondor's great warriors. Go to them and sound this horn that they might find themselves renewed. When you have done so, return to me, for our journey is just beginning. Ah, you have another one for me. Okay.
Darkness is a weight on my mind.
As my men and I journeyed to Pelargir from Lingir, we felt a great weight upon us. Days without rest and the fatigue of battle had worn on us all, but this filled me with this dread in a way that I had never known. And just as it took hold, it faded away, and those of my men that had cowered found their way to their feet once more. I have heard many rumors of what happened that day, but I do not know if there is any truth in them. I have not had much time to think on this matter until now, yet it still troubles me. Speak to my men of this, and see if there is any truth to these tales. Oh, I'm getting an idea of what this is. What kind of dread got a hold of you, but I want to double check with your men.
There's naught but ill omens these days.
As with Lord Angbor, I wish knew what happened in that moment. My armor grew heavy and I fell to the ground before I could realize what happened. I regret that I cannot be of more help to you, Warden. Well, hopefully we'll get more answers. Ah, this is where we went with Faltharan to confront Lorvegil. The time for rest is over, we go to war! Yeah, indeed, no time for resting. The battle is almost upon us. So we need to be really quick. We have no time to lose. As Lord Angbor commands. Yeah, please.
This darkness is a weight on my mind.
Why do you ask me to recall such things? Before terror pulled me to the ground, I saw the form of a great beast above the ashen clouds. It let out a shrill cry as it flew overhead, and then it was gone. I swear to you, I speak true. Yeah, I believe you. I know exactly what it was. And you confirm my suspicions. As Lord Angbor commands, yeah. The men are ready. Faramir now. Oh, full name. It's like a mix of band or shield, which is the same element we have on our name, Beriathan, but also mixed with Amdir. Is hope, I believe. Very cool. I like your name a lot.
There's naught but ill omens these days.
Since the sun was blotted out days ago, we have seen little without the use of torches. But what I saw I shall never forget. A flying beast bore a rider in darkened robes, and the blade he held reflected what little light passed through the murky sky. As I looked upon him, a great pain overtook me and I turned away. When I turned to look again to the sky, he had gone. Well, at least the Nazgul did not discover Aragorn. I think in this, the weapons of the enemy turned against him. I think the Dauntless Day also helped to cloak Aragorn's movements. And it's not the first time the enemy's weapons turn against him. That kind of things happens quite often.
This darkness is a weight on my mind.
Thank you, Beriathan. I know many of my men desire rest after our siege of Pelargir, but that time cannot come until this war is at an end. Quest of Upper Lebennin. Here we are. 25. Awesome. Simple.
This darkness is a weight on my mind.
I do not doubt their words, my friend. Could this be one of the 9 wraiths of which Aragorn spoke? Let us hope it has flown back to its master and shall not harry our journey to Minas Tirith. I will not allow its dread to burden my mind any longer. My men and I must press on into Upper Lebennin. Are we ready to leave now?
There's naught but ill omens these days.
Beriathan, have you noticed the Lord Regent up above? His eyes have not left my men and me for some time now. I believe he means to join our charge, but the boy is not suited for battle. He wears ill-fitting armor and is not skilled with a blade, despite what he may think after his recent heroics in the city. I see a darkness in his demeanor, and I believe he intends to rush into the war without care for himself or his family. Convince him of his folly, my friend. See that he remains here with his people, for there is much rebuilding to be done here. for the city and its folk. And I do imagine why Faltharan wants to join them. But you don't need to do that. Really, you have proven yourself already.
There's naught but ill omens these days.
Faltharan appears lost in thought as you approach, and his gaze is fixed on the eastern gate of Pelargir. I know you have come to dissuade me, friend, but I cannot be turned from my task. So much has happened in so swift a time. It has been but a few days since Pelargir was reclaimed, but still many more troubles weigh on me. I cannot rest while my father remains lost, Beriathan. You know as well as any that I am no warrior, but I must search for my father. Lord Angbor's path must be swift, and I do not expect him to delay for a single man. I plan to travel into Upper Lebennin, but I fear I cannot do this alone.
This darkness is a weight on my mind.
Will you aid me in this, Beriathan? I know your journey shall soon take you far from Lebennin, but I can think of no other that might spare the time for such a task.
There's naught but ill omens these days.
Are you prepared, Beriathan? If my father yet lives, I know he must be in Upper Lebennin. The Haradrim would not trouble themselves to ferry a prisoner so far, unless he was of great import to the enemy. I know of a small village to the northeast that is home to good folk. I suggest that we meet there and begin our search in the surrounding lands. Travel through the eastern gate and follow the road. I shall meet you there as soon as I am able. Okay. He could not be dissuaded. But I was wrong. He is not trying to further clean his family's name after what Lord Vigil did. He just wants to find his father. I think that we can do. The road to Upper Lebennin lies ahead. And here you can see Glaniath, Laden, and then we'll go into Lossarnach. So we're getting closer and closer to the center of battle. That, however, will come on the next episode. For the time being, this has been all on today's episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. So thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you later.